I think all football fans should unite today behind what Manchester United fans have done, because honestly what they did 2 weeks ago was really dangerous for English football. We must not forget that. They tried to walk away and create a closed-shop league that would have basically created a famine in this country for every other football club.
A lot of fans out there have just had enough, and who have been peaceful and who have turned up to protest against the owners of Manchester United. And we have to say to them, listen, you're standing up for your football club.
But let's not forget what this is. This is against this football club's ownership. You get a few idiots. I'm going back further since when I was a kid and how football fans were treated and how they were portrayed in the media, basically on the back of a few idiots. So let's get that right. A lot of Manchester United fans are here today because they're fuming basically how their football club is being run.
Don't just think it's the Premier League. On Manchester's doorstep, we've seen Bury, Macclesfield Town and Bolton Wanderers fans suffer terribly in recent years, partly because people who are classed as fit and proper persons are allowed to take over football clubs. I don't believe that they are.
You won't have that. Today is what bigger message could be sent to the Glazers by Manchester United fans than stopping the biggest game in English football from happening.
If there's anybody who doesn't understand the United fans' frustration after you've revealed all that, then they need to listen.
A sleeping anger has been awoken in English football. Now it's the turn of Manchester United fans. A core of supporters have opposed the American Glazer family since they took over this club 16 years ago. But this is no small minority. Here they are in their thousands.
Thousands at Old Trafford, hundreds at the Lowry. United fans have mobilised 2 protests at once, and they couldn't be stopped. The protests continue to build with more United fans arriving. Banners, flares, flags, thousands of United fans together. Granddads, dads, sons, mothers and daughters, young and old, united against the Glazers. 16 years of anger fallen on deaf ears have forced United fans to this point, and we made the biggest statement of all on the pitch at Old Trafford.
There are fans who have made their way into the ground and they are now protesting. They've come through the bottom end, the Stretford end is away to my left. They're now heading out onto the pitch to let their feelings be known. This is obviously not what we want to see, and the security here at Old Trafford has failed.
For 16 years we've been protesting against the Glazers, 2005, 2010 and now again in 2021. And this time we're not going away.
In the last few minutes, it has been confirmed that Manchester United's Premier League game with Liverpool has been postponed. That's after fans broke into Old Trafford to protest against the club's owners.
The United fans have looked at the Glazers and all thought, enough's enough. It's enough from them. We've seen it today. And I believe the United fans, they're doing this because they love the club, ultimately. Okay, people might agree with it. Sometimes you have to put a marker down for people to take notice, and this is all over the world now, and people have to sit up and take note. Hopefully the owners of Man United will say, listen, these fans are deadly serious, and there's more to come. This is just the start of it from United fans, I guarantee you.
It's official. Manchester United club is up for sale. Glory, glory, Man United. This is after the Glazer family put up a tweet that they're looking for a new investor. You remember the Glazer family has been in the club for almost 17 years. There has been a lot of protests, as you can see here. There has been a lot of protests with the owners completely not managing the club well. You could hear from last week's the weeks that have passed with the Cristiano Ronaldo interview or even him saying that the owners of the club do not care. There has been little investment in terms of infrastructure. Of course, Man United have not won any major trophy for over 10 years now, with only, I think, 3 titles or so there. And despite their efforts in buying players, which is normally viewed as a response uh, to to protest from the fans, to appease the fans, there hasn't really been much in terms of uh, uh, investing in Manchester United and how big it has been. But of course, it has reached a point where the Glazer family has come out and they are willing now to sell the club. And I think there's no way back for them. This the step that they have taken. Definitely, they will have to part way with the club. Of course, now the next question is who is going to buy Manchester United. Some people have come out saying that the evaluation that has been done, costing Man United at a level of £6 billion probably is too much. But given the reputation of Manchester United, this is one of the biggest clubs in the world. When you're naming some of the most followed club, the bigger reputations in the football history, Manchester United has to be there, Barcelona, the likes of Real Madrid. So would you say it's overvalued? No, I don't think so. I don't think it's overvalued. But again, given the challenges that will face the new owners, it's massive. It's a very, very, very big challenge because they'll have to invest in the resources, infrastructure. Old Trafford needs probably improvement. Would they go buy build a new stadium altogether? That remains to be seen. But definitely, whoever buys the club next has to be someone with money, or if it's a company or whether it's a consortium, has to be someone with lots of money. We're talking about super rich person, because United is not going to give them money in the near future. They'll have to buy it and also have money to invest in it. That would include the infrastructures, the playing. Man United still need to buy, I don't know, maybe 7 more players for it to, give Man United a chance of competing with the likes of Man City, uh, and Liverpool. But of course, it's a step towards the future. I believe it's time for Glazer families to go. The only thing is now, how are they going to sell the club? Are they going to look more into their pocket, the future of the club? Is Man United going to get not just an investor, but someone who wants to build the brand further, someone who wants to invest in it? So that has really begged the question: who is going to buy Manchester United? So in my today's video, I'm going to take you through some of the people who have come up, some of the companies, big guns, billionaires who have come out that they want to buy Manchester United. We are going to look at them and their net worth, as well as what they bring on board for the future of Manchester, and the possible success they could bring, the management change in mentality that they're going to bring. So before we go, before we discuss this, if you've not subscribed, please subscribe to our channel, follow us, so that we can be able to see many of these analyses and the future of Man United and all the latest news that you want to hear about Manchester United. So let's start. Let's go through the list. Some of the companies, some of the consortium, some of the names here are going to be very interesting ones. But of all the same, Man United will get a new owner. I don't know how long this process takes for the clubs to be bought. There's also still an element of if the Glazer families are going to be willing to sell, and at what price are they going to sell. will they overvalue Manchester United? Because some of the investors that you will find are very good in what they do. And if they feel the club is overvalued, probably they'll not be able to buy. But at the same time, there are companies which I believe will be buying Manchester United because of the reputation that brings with Manchester United, the followers that Man United has, and the global brand that it is. And therefore, overvaluing or undervaluing could probably be an understatement. It all depends with who is buying and what their interest is for Manchester United, and therefore it could be both. But let's go through the list. If you've not subscribed, please subscribe. We'll go through the list one by one and find out what do these people bring. So at number 6, we have Dubai Sovereign Wealth Fund. Some people call it oil money. Yes, it's oil money. United Arab Emirates. It's oil money. They always have interest in such like investment. Remember, our noisy neighbors, Manchester City, for now almost 15 years have been enjoying the oil money. Newcastle recently was acquired in something that would term as oil money. Chelsea used to have oil money until Ibrahimovic sold it months ago. PSG is enjoying oil money, and Dubai Sovereign Wealth Fund is their net worth is estimated to be around 210 billion pounds. That's a lot of money. And if you look at the valuation for Man United, it's around 6 billion pounds. So you can easily afford to buy Man United. Now, what do they bring on board? Now, if we've always accused City of buying players with oil money and stuff, but if that is what is needed for Man United to get back to competing, yeah, so it will be very interesting. But of course, with the Dubai Sovereign Wealth Fund, I think this is a welcome thing for Man United. It's no longer a big issue if the club is owned with the Middle East guys. They already own Newcastle, they already own Manchester City, PSG. So why not Manchester United? I think that should not be a problem. So this is one of the people looking who have shown the interest in buying Manchester United. I think they will bring a lot of money to Man United and make Man United another force again, just as equivalent to how the direction probably that Man City has taken. Now, with that, let's go to number 5, David Beckham. Now, there has been talks about David Beckham coming up with a consortium that takes over Manchester United. We all know who David Beckham is. He was a Manchester United player, Real Madrid player. He has a lot when it comes to branding, And David Beckham his net worth is around 370 million pounds, which I believe will not be enough for him to buy Manchester United solely as his. But of course, he can get into a consortium with other interested parties and come up with a consortium that probably takes over Manchester United. Already, if he can do that and is a former player of Manchester United, he knows the history of Manchester United, he knows what it means. That can also be good. Of course, personally, myself, I wouldn't want former Manchester United owning Manchester United, because then I don't know what happens. And whoever comes to own Man United now has to be someone with enough money to buy and then also money to reinvest into the club. So those are two things: having enough money to buy and having money to reinvest. And of course, the management has to change, because possibly when you get a new owner right now, it will take another 10, 15, 20 years with the same owner. So you don't want to have the club bought and then the people are not able to invest in the club, in as much as they might bring the good management. But remember, for us to compete with the likes of Manchester City, the likes of Liverpool, and Chelsea, who have new owners now, we have to reinvest in this club. So with his net worth of 370, we know already Beckham is co-owning Salford City in the Greater Manchester with the likes of Gary Neville, Ryan Giggs, Scholes. He also founded Inter Miami, which has progressed so well in MLS. It remains to be seen, but do I feel he will be able to buy the club? I don't think so. I do not think so that it is going to happen. Which takes us to number 4. Lord Jim ONeill. Now, in 2010, this guy was part of a consortium called the Red Knights, which made a bid to claim ownership for Manchester United in 2010. But this was not accepted. It was lower because they made a bid of around 1.25 billion pounds to buy Manchester United, which was lower. So they were not able to claim back the ownership from the Glazer family. He's still the same person who has showed interest, but I believe this time he'll have to, if he has to get the ownership for Manchester United, will have to do better than what they did in 2010, because right now Man United is being valued at 5 billion, and probably that, because of the bidding, could probably go to almost maybe 6 billion pounds, who knows. So the consortium is Lord Jim is part of the now the new people interested in again acquiring ownership for Manchester United. And now let's go to our top three very interesting ones of the people interested in buying Manchester United. At number 3, Sir Jim Ratcliffe. Sir Jim Ratcliffe. We all know whom he is. He's an Englishman. He's a born Manchester United fan. He comes from Manchester, and he's the owner of Ineos that deals in petrochemicals, and he has invested a lot in sports. He owns a football club in France. He supports various football, sports. He has a lot of sports investment. He's one of the people who has shown a lot of interest in Manchester United, and I think he wants to get a hand in one of these big clubs. Remember, he recently bid for Chelsea before the Americans, the Bodley consortium took over. But he made a bid to Chelsea of 4 billion pounds, but he was not successful, and he's one of the names that have come up to, and who has not even coming up there. He has shown great interest in Manchester United. This is his childhood club. He supports Manchester United, and he has the money to buy Manchester United. So currently his net worth is around 11 billion pounds, which is enough, because if, for example, through bidding war, he's able to acquire Manchester United at 6 billion pounds, he will be able to buy Manchester United. But the only question is he really willing to? Because Man United will need more than 6 billion pounds. That would only be to buy the club. But then how much investment the club needs to get back into its glory days is a lot of money. So will he be able to do that? He recently showed interest in it, but Glazers were not willing to sell. Now Glazers are selling. It all remains is is he going to be the new owner of Manchester United? We all are waiting to see. But definitely he's a candidate to take over Manchester United. And now at our top 2, these are now top of the La Cream people who have shown the interest to buy Manchester United. And at number 2, we have Amancio Ortega. Did I pronounce that right? Yes, Amancio Ortega. Amancio Ortega, now, Ortega is a clothing magnate, having founded Zara. And Zara is a brand that we all know. He's also ranked the 19th richest man in the world with a net worth of around 50 billion pounds. So definitely he has the money to buy Manchester United. But the only thing is that it is unclear his interest in Manchester United or how he probably would run it, given that he has never invested in sports. He has never invested in sport. But definitely this Spaniard has the money to buy Manchester United and has the money to reinvest in Manchester United. It all remains, is it going to happen? But it will be a very interesting one. My only other concern will be he is 86-year-old and probably in the next 20 years will not be involved in running the club. Would that impact Manchester United running if he takes over? I'm not so sure, but maybe not a problem at all. So he's the number 2 in the list. And by virtue that he has money, and this is not oil money, so Ortega forms number 2. Now the topmost company that has showed interest in buying Manchester United is Apple. Yes, you heard that right. Apple. If you're using iPhone, you know what Apple is. Apple computers, Apple gadgets are everywhere. Now, Apple is worth trillion of pounds. Yes, they are worth trillions, and with a revenue of around 400 billion pounds a year. They are definitely the biggest technology company in the world. Would my owning Manchester United be a big deal? Definitely no. They have the money to buy it. They have, the money to improve the club, and it will be massive money for Manchester United. They, but maybe the concern for Manchester United fans would be: this is a company. Have they ever owned or run a sports club like Manchester with the magnitude of Manchester United? I definitely believe, given what we know about Apple, they are very much, they are very much concerned in terms of quality and be associated with a club that is playing in the Europa. No, they want to be the best in the market, and that would be a blessing to Manchester United. Manchester United, definitely they can establish a department to run the club, probably hire the likes of Ragnick, to run the club just the same way the Red Bulls does, running its clubs. And that would be huge. Of course, some of the fans believe that probably they will change Old Trafford name into Apple Stadium, or I don't know. But if Apple could be able to take over Manchester United, I think that would be a big plus for the club, for the fans, and in years we'll be back into the glory. Probably even build a new Old Trafford, and call it the new Old Trafford, New Trafford. But definitely they are one of the biggest people showing interest in Manchester United. So some of these guys have placed a bid already, the likes of Ortega, Apple, but we are waiting to see. There's a lot of interest from super billionaires, consortiums, companies that are super rich, and that's a good thing for Manchester United, because definitely they are going to get someone uh, with good money to invest in the club, and also probably that would manage the club so well. But the truth is, it will be up to the Glazer families to decide whom do they want to sell to. Will it be about the price, the bid, what this, how much is it going, how much is Manchester United valued at? But definitely there's a future that is coming for Manchester United, and it is brighter. For me, it is brighter, because definitely I don't think Glazer family are going to be here. But in terms of who takes over Manchester United, I really do not care among the list. The only thing is that I would want somebody who has enough funds to buy and also to reinvest in the club. What do you think? Whom would you like among the list that I've given you to be the next United owners? What are your reasons for that? Please leave your comments, and also remember to subscribe to our channel. Let's discuss the future of Manchester United. Thank you for your time, and for watching. Please subscribe. Let's grow the channel together. And yeah,